Welcome back. You are listening to Talk It To Me, brought to you by the Globe from Bismarck. I am John Sowling, and I will be your moderator. With me today is Brittany Smith.
Hey, John.
Travis Gavin.
Hey, John. How's it going?
And Nicole Ortega.
It's going to be a good talk.
Yeah, it will be. We're going to be talking today about the University of Mary alcohol policy, specifically the intoxication policy, which states, University of Mary students, including those who are 21 or older, are prohibited from being intoxicated on University of Mary property and or at any University of Mary sponsored event. Guests of University of Mary students who are intoxicated on the University of Mary property or at a University of Mary sponsored event will be required to leave. This includes areas on campus where alcohol is a regulated privilege. We will be talking about why policies exist and why they're in place, changes that affect these policies, and proposed changes to the rules that are currently standing. Brittany, I know you've been doing some research into why the current policies exist. What have you found out?
Well, John, I found out a couple things. The reason why the University of Mary has what some people view as strict alcohol policies comes down to a couple different things. First, the state of North Dakota has a very high rate of binge drinking and underage drinking. If you were to go back and research and look at the Bismarck Tribune, they released an article in 2009, and in the article they talked about some alcohol surveys that they had some younger students, some high school students take. The results of the survey found out researchers found that 32% of North Dakotans ages 12 and older said they had 5 or more drinks in one sitting during the month before the survey. And the national average for binge drinking on the same survey was only 23%. In 2009, we were ranked number 1 in underage binge drinking. Another study done by Fox Business put us at number 3 for underage binge drinking, but then we were number 1 in driving under the influence of alcohol. So there's definitely a problem in North Dakota with drinking and it being very culturally accepted. Wayne Stenjum in the same Bismarck Tribune article mentioned that the surveys of the North Dakota communities found that 1/3 of adults thought teenage drinking was acceptable and should be legal and had at one point or another provided alcohol to teenagers. And when you're first entering college, like a lot of students are at the University of Mary, you don't have your parents there to monitor you or set rules and boundaries for you. So it's really the dorm's responsibility, it's student life's responsibility to set up these rules. Because underage drinking is illegal. It's a legal matter. So they set up these rules to kind of prohibit drinking from happening and from students being drunk on campus and kind of emitting that kind of attitude. Another big reason why the University of Mary has alcohol policies like that is because, they're a Catholic campus. You come here knowing that it's a Catholic school and they have very Catholic beliefs. And the Bible, although it doesn't say the drinking of alcohol is a really big problem or drinking of alcohol is bad, it does, in Ephesians 5:18, for example, God condemns Christians regarding alcohol to avoid drunkenness, and in Proverbs 23:29-35, God condemns drunkenness and its effects. So when you come to the University of Mary, they want their Catholic beliefs to be held in high regard. So there's reasons why they have these kinds of rules against being drunk and being drunk on campus.
Brittany, those are some very valid reasons for these rules. Travis, as an RA on campus, what things are changing that affect these rules?
Well, John, with the rule currently as it's written, it bans alcohol on all parts of campus from all students. Yet Chesterton's opening up on campus is allowing students that are of legal drinking age to go there and have 2 drinks on the weekends. It's giving them a place where they can drink safely on campus, as well as the new apartments. The over 21 students are allowed to apply for a permit for their room to enable them to drink in their rooms. With the rule, though, as it currently stands, the RAs were supposed to report all on-campus drinking or on-campus intoxication. So say there's a student who is over the age of 21 who goes to Chesterton's for a few drinks and then goes over to one of his buddy's rooms or her buddy's rooms in the cloisters and has a few more drinks. Yet if this student doesn't live in the cloisters and walks back to their dorm or their apartment, as the rule currently stands, they're not allowed to be intoxicated or under the influence there. So as an RA, we're supposed to document that student for having drank on campus or being drunk on campus.
Travis, in my opinion, Chesterton's is a way to teach us moderation. It gives you the opportunity to get written up, and it gives you the opportunity to drink too much, but it also teaches you to control yourself. I mean, we're all adults, and I understand how we want extra freedom, but by coming to the University of Mary, I think students should be aware that moderation is very important to the university's core standards. I mean, on the school website, it says moderation is honoring all God's creation and living simply with balance and gratitude. And then also, one of St. Benedict's rules says, regard all things as sacred and do everything with moderation. So basically, Chesterton's is just trying to give you the opportunity to make smarter decisions, and that's what the 2-drink rule is for. It doesn't get you too drunk, and you could possibly get drunk, but the point is to control yourself and as an adult, just have the opportunity to, have your own decisions. And moderation is about a little bit, not too much and nothing at all. So that's why it's there.
All right. Thanks, Nicole. And moderation's great and all, but hey guys, some people are talking about removing the intoxication rule completely. What are your thoughts?
Well, one of the main reasons I can see for removing that rule completely would be it's very vague. It's really hard to enforce as an RA, a rule that doesn't give us anything specific to look for. Like with parking violations, we have cars that have to be registered, and most of the rules on campus have something very obvious that we can enforce. As far as being intoxicated on campus, how we've decided to enforce that rule is that as long as you're not a danger to yourself or other people, we're kind of allowing you to make your own decisions and hopefully you choose wisely.
Okay, so Travis, do you actually think that the rule should be, taken out of the rule book, the rule about intoxication?
As it's written, I feel like the rule about intoxication is really hard to enforce. I think that if it was rewritten, it would work.
But if it was rewritten, wouldn't they have to, implement some kind of way of enforcing it, like maybe breathalyzers or, leave it up to the RAs to check IDs? And you've said before that, your outlook as an RA on alcohol is somewhat lax because it's really hard to tell if people have been drinking or if they're drunk. So would you even follow the rule if they reworded it?
I feel like we would try to, but depending on how it's written, it could again be really hard to enforce. I mean, if they write something in about testing for a specific blood alcohol content, how are we going to do that? What are the logistics there? Or, it all depends on how they decide to rewrite it. But, if I were to rewrite the rule, I would say change it to be, as long as the student is not a danger to themselves or others or causing problems, then they're allowed to make their own decisions.
Really, Travis, is it really an issue with the 2-drink policy? Are people getting drunk only off 2 drinks? Is this a really big problem?
I think as far as what you're talking about, Nicole, 2 drinks probably won't get a majority of people drunk, but there are some people, smaller people or people who are less tolerant of alcohol who would get drunk off of 2 drinks. And as far as drunkenness, it's kind of an arbitrary term. A lot of different people have a lot of different measures of what is drunk. The Wall Street Journal talks about there's tons of factors. In 2011, they released a study saying that factors that affect drinking and getting drunk are fatigue, stress, illness, depression. So if people are really stressed out or really depressed, maybe they will get drunk off of 2 drinks.
So those people who are small in stature or don't have a huge tolerance for alcohol, who get drunk and go back into their dorms off of just the 2 drinks, they could potentially be in violation of the rule, and that's something that we need to worry about.
And that's all the time we have for today. So thank you everyone for listening in. This has been Talk It To Me, brought to you by the Globe from Bismarck. Today we have talked about the University of Mary alcohol policy, specifically the intoxication policy. why it exists, what changes have affected it, and what proposed changes could we make. Our website is www.globefrombismarck.wordpress.com. Pay us a visit. Thank you and good night.